Bitcoin and the Eighth Commandment. If you've ever wondered how your money could align with God's law against theft, or why the global financial system feels like it's rigged against the faithful man who does honest work, this video is for you. The Eighth Commandment is clear. Thou shalt not steal. It's not just about pickpockets or shoplifters. It's a divine blueprint for justice, protecting the fruits of our labor from exploitation. But what if I told you that the very money in your pocket is stealing from you every day? Enter the need for Bitcoin, a digital money designed to honor that commandment by preventing hidden thefts through inflation, crony bailouts, and debt slavery. In this episode of Biblical Bitcoin, we'll unpack 3 key ways Bitcoin upholds biblical justice in a broken monetary world. We'll explore how fiat currencies, like the dollar, are systems of mammon, that demonic idol of wealth Jesus warned about in Matthew 6:24, and how Bitcoin offers a path to righteous stewardship. I truly feel that Christian Bitcoiners are going to play a huge part in ushering in a new era of righteousness within our financial institutions. Whether you're a Christian, a Bitcoiner, both, or neither, let's dive into how Bitcoin seeks justice and corrects oppression according to the Eighth Commandment. Let's start with an insidious form of theft: inflation. Imagine working hard, saving diligently, only for your money to lose value year after year without your consent. That's not savings, that's robbery by design. In economic terms, inflation is the hidden tax where central banks print more money, diluting the value of every dollar you hold. It's a stealthy erosion of purchasing power, transferring wealth from the saver, you, to the spender, governments and elites. Biblically, this screams mammon. Jesus said, "No one can serve 2 masters. You cannot serve both God and mammon," in Matthew 6:24. Mammon isn't just greed. It's a false god of wealth that deceives and oppresses. Fiat currencies, government-issued money not backed by anything real, besides force or violence, are modern altars to mammon. They enable monetary communism. Central planners and banks like the Federal Reserve decide how much money to create, stealing from the masses to fund endless spending. It's oppression dressed as policy, widening the gap between the rich and the poor, just as Proverbs 22:16 warns. One who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. Contrast this with Bitcoin, which has a hard cap of 21 million coins. No central authority can inflate it. Its protocol enforces scarcity, like digital gold, but better, ensuring your Bitcoin holds value without hidden dilution. This isn't just technology, it's principled money that respects the Eighth Commandment by preventing theft through devaluation. But don't take my word, let's look at the data. Over the last 50 years, the US dollar has lost about 85% of its purchasing power. So think about it. If you saved $10,000 in 1974 for your kid's future, it's worth only about $1,500 in real buying power today. And that's despite the natural effects of deflation that should be gifted to humanity through innovation and technology. That is theft on a generational scale. Inflation might be the greatest lie of the last century, but what happens when the system breaks? Picture this. It's 2008. The world economy teeters on collapse. Wall Street banks, fueled by reckless lending and derivatives gambling, have privatized massive gains for years, bonuses flowing like wine. But when their house of cards crumbles, who pays? Not them, the taxpayers. This is the ultimate perversion of the Eighth Commandment. Elites steal from the public to save their hides. Let's recount the story academically, but vividly. The 2008 financial crisis stemmed from subprime mortgages bundled into toxic securities. Banks like Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, and Goldman Sachs knew the risks but chased profits, leveraging debt to insane levels. When housing prices tanked, credit froze, and panic spread. Enter the U.S. government and Federal Reserve. Under the Troubled Asset Relief Program, TARP, Congress authorized $700 billion, about 5% of the GDP then, to bail out the banks. In reality, $426 billion was injected directly, with broader Fed facilities totaling estimates up to $7.7 trillion in liquidity. Banks too big to fail got the cash, privatized gains during the boom, socialized losses in the bust. Executives kept their yachts, Main Street got foreclosures and austerity. This isn't free market capitalism, it's cronyism, a mammon cartel where central banks print limitless money to favor insiders. The Bible rails against this in Amos 5:11. You levy a straw tax on the poor and impose a tax on their grain, Therefore you have built stone mansions. You will not live in them. Though you have planted lush vineyards, you will not drink their wine. Bailouts oppress the vulnerable, widening wealth gaps. U.S. inequality soared post-2008, with top 1% capturing 95% of recovering gains via primarily asset inflation. This is why you often hear tax the rich, but at its core, it's just a broken money problem. Bitcoin, it dismantles this favoritism at the root. No central bank means no bailouts. Its decentralized network, thousands of nodes worldwide, operates on consensus, not coercion. The fixed supply prevents printing rescues. If a bank fails, it's isolated, not propped up at a public expense. Equitable principles. Everyone accesses Bitcoin equally via the blockchain, a transparent ledger where transactions are verifiable and immutable. No backroom deals. For Christians, this is redemptive economics. James 2:6 asks, "But you have dishonored the poor. Is it not the rich who are exploiting you? Are they not the ones who are dragging you into court?" Fiat enables that. Fiat dishonors the poor. Bitcoin empowers the oppressed. In a world of rigged games, Bitcoin allows you to choose a system that honors the poor because it treats them fairly. Keep living on a fiat standard and ignore the questioning of this verse, or start to take steps in your faith and finances toward a more righteous world and adopt a Bitcoin standard. Now let's connect this to deeper chains. Debt. Debt isn't just borrowing. In our fiat world, it's a tool of control. Proverbs 22:7 warns, "The borrower is slave to the lender." Multiply that globally, fiat is a debt-based money, created when banks lend out of thin air. This incentivizes endless issuance, enslaving nations and individuals. At the end of 2020, the pinnacle of this madness, over $18.4 trillion in negative yielding debt worldwide. That's bonds where investors pay governments to borrow. Yes, negative interest. Why? Central banks like the ECB and Fed slashed rates to zero or below, flooding markets to prop up the system post-2008. This steals from the many to give to the elite few. Savers earn nothing or lose money, while debtors, corporations, governments, borrow cheaply to speculate or consolidate power. Global debt hit $277 trillion that year. Per IMF data, more than 3 times world GDP. It's monetary feudalism, where the poor pay for elite excesses. Mammon thrives here, turning money into chains. The system demands growth through debt, oppressing the global south with IMF loans that extract resources or trapping families in credit card spirals. Christians see this as idolatry. Revelation 18:13 laments Babylon's merchants trading human souls for profit. Modern debt does the same. Bitcoin liberates. It's savings-based, you earn it through work or trade, no fractional reserve magic. No central issuance means no incentive to enslave via loans. Its deflationary nature, value rises with adoption, rewards savers, not borrowers. In El Salvador, adopting Bitcoin in 2021 cut remittance fees, freeing families from predatory banks. Globally, it enables micro-savings for the unbanked, fulfilling Isaiah 58:6, loose the chains of injustice. This isn't utopian, it's engineered justice. Bitcoin's proof-of-work consensus secures value without violence, mirroring God's orderly creation. My friends, we've seen how fiat currencies violate the 8th commandment through inflation's quiet theft, crony bailouts, bold robbery, and debt's iron grip. These are Mammon's tools, oppressing humanity and mocking God's justice. But Bitcoin, it's a beacon, honest, equitable, liberating money that Christians can wield to correct these wrongs. As believers, let's not just critique, let's act. Study Bitcoin, stack some sats, use it for tithing or charity. In seeking first the kingdom, choose money that doesn't steal. If this resonated, like, subscribe, and comment. How has inflation affected your family? Share the gospel both of Jesus and sound money. God bless. See you next time on Biblical Bitcoin.